Welcome to the next video tutorial, that is object class in core Java. So what is object class? The first point it is for all the Java classes. For all the Java classes, the most commonly required methods are defined in a separate class, that is object class. For all the Java classes, whether it might be built-in class or user-defined class, for all the Java classes, the most commonly required methods are defined in a separate class, that is what we call object class. Now the second point is, if the class doesn't extend any other class, then it is the direct child class of object class. Observe this point. If the class doesn't extend any other class, then it is the direct child class of object class. If the class already extends another class, then that is the indirect child class of object class. How we can represent it in the pictorial way? Now, let's say we have here object class, and here what does we have, that is class A. Okay, class A. And next, what do we have here? Class B. Next, we do have here class B. So class A is the, sorry, class A. Okay, class A now is the direct subclass of object class. Class A is the direct child of object class. Now what about this B class? So let's say here it is, what's happening here, it is class B. Okay, class B extends class A. Class B extends class A. Now what about this A class? Whether you keep it or not, okay, if I keep like this, or not, whether I keep this or not, class A is the direct subclass of object class, or class A is the direct child of object class. Now what about this class B? Now class B is the indirect child class of object class. It is already extending class A, we know that, and we cannot say like class A comma B. That is not possible. Multiple inheritance in case of classes, that is not possible in Java. So how we can say that class B is the child class of object class? That is, we are not saying it is the direct class, it is the indirect class of object class. It is the indirect subclass or child class of object class. Now in the first point we have already seen that um, for all the Java classes, whether it is the user defined class or the inbuilt Java classes, the most commonly required methods are defined in a separate class called object class. Now, whatever the methods are there in the object class, that is available in the B class. Okay, whatever the methods are available in object class, those methods are available in the B class as well. But it does not mean that it is supporting multiple inheritance. So that is why we called it as the indirect child class of object class. Now in case of class A, that is the direct child class of object class. Whether I keep it like this, extends extends object. Okay. So whether I keep this or not, it is the child of object class. This one is optional. So for all the classes, whether it might be user defined or it might be inbuilt Java classes, the most required methods are defined in a separate class, that is object class. Class A is the direct subclass or child class of object class, and class B is the indirect child or subclass of object class. So in both of these classes, the most commonly used methods are available from the object class. So it is not the multiple inheritance in any of the way. Java does not support multiple inheritance in case of classes. That multiple inheritance we can achieve by using interfaces, that is the different case, but in case of classes it does not allow multiple inheritance. So this one is okay. This is the first case we can consider. Okay, so next so what is not correct, that we will see what is not correct. So second one, and we have like this. Sorry. Okay. So here we do have class A, and here we do have class B, and here we do have class object. So um, here class B extends class A, and class B also extends object class. Now observe, this pictorial representation is not proper. Okay, we cannot consider like this. It is wrong in any of the way. Java does not allow multiple inheritance in case of classes. So this one is wrong. So class B also extending class A, and class B also extending object class. This is not correct. We can consider class B as the indirect child class of object class. But class B is the direct child class of class A. That we know that. Class B is the direct child class or subclass of class A. But at the same time, it is not extending, like it is supporting multiple inheritance. That is not possible. It is the indirect subclass of object class. This is not proper representation. We can consider like this one, the first case. The second case, it is not proper. Okay, so that you should be aware of. So the first point, it is for the user class and the inbuilt classes, whatever the methods, the most commonly used methods are required, those methods are present in object class. And then the second point, it is if the class doesn't extend any other class, then it is the direct child class of object class. In this case, A is the direct subclass or child class of object class. What about B? It is the indirect subclass or child class of object class. So that doesn't mean that B, like Java supports multiple inheritance. That is not correct. In case of classes, Java does not support multiple inheritance. So that we are seeing in the second class. So multiple inheritance representation we should not consider. That is not proper. So what are all the methods we have in the object class? What are all the methods we have in the object class? So totally 11 methods. Totally 11 methods we have, that is most commonly used by other classes, and also inbuilt classes. So, what are those methods? Let me open this Edit Plus. So, what are those commonly required methods for all the classes? Let me save this file with the public string to string. Second one, public native int hash code. Third one, public boolean equals is accepting object type as the parameter. First one, second one, third one, fourth one, protected native object clone clone method. So this throws clone not supported exception. Clone not supported exception. Then the fifth one, it is protected native object, sorry, protected void finalize. This method throws throwable. Seventh, eighth, ninth, 10, and 11th. What is the sixth one? Public final class get class. Public final class get class. Next one, public final void wait. Public final void wait. This method throws interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. Next one, public final native void wait. Public final native void wait. So this one is taking an argument as the long in milliseconds. So this method throws interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. Then the ninth one, public final void wait. It is accepting two arguments. Public final void wait is accepting two arguments. First one is long and second one is int as the argument. ns it is nanoseconds. So this one throws interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. Next one, 10th one, it is public native final void notify. 11th one, public native final void notify all. So these 11 methods are the most commonly used methods by the user defined class and as well the inbuilt class. These 11 methods. Now, strictly speaking, object class contains 12 methods. How we can prove that? So let me write the program for that. Object class contains totally 12 methods, not the 11 methods, strictly speaking. So write write an example, write a program for that. Here I'm importing the package. First I need to import this package in the java.lang package, and in the reflect I'm importing all the things. Okay, this is mandatory. Import java.lang.reflect.star. We are importing all the files from this package. This is mandatory while we are doing any operations on um, that specific methods. So here some files has to import from reflect, so that is why I have given the reflect package. So some of the features we will be using from this package, so that is why I have included reflect. Now the object class that is available in java.lang package. Okay, object class available in java.lang package. Why I am using reflect? Because we are using some features that is not available in object class, so we are importing from this reflect package. So class, let's say the name of the class methods in object class. Okay, methods in object class, this is the name of the class I'm specifying. So we will be counting that methods. That is why I have declared int count is equal to 0. So then we have class C. Okay, class itself is a one class and C is the reference variable, and class dot for name. So here I'm supplying java.lang.object class. So don't worry about this. What is this for name, and why we are using this class dot all these things. So in the separate video I'll be explaining this about this class dot for name. So basically we are supplying the name of the class here. Basically we are supplying the name of the class in the double quote object class available in java.lang package. Now to find out the methods, declaring it as an array. M is the reference variable and C dot get declared methods. Then for each loop I'm using method M1 or methods colon M I'm supplying. Then we are in count with the plus plus increment count plus plus. Then in the system.out.println what we are doing, that is methods dot get a name. That method we are calling. And finally we are having one more println statement. This statement it is printing the total number, the number of methods in the object class. So count I'm printing. So better copy this class name because it is little lengthy, you might get confused. Press Ctrl S. I'm just saving it in the file system with the class name, that is methods in object class. Save this and open command prompt cd desktop. Cd means change directory, point it to the desktop. Now we are in the desktop. Now trigger the java c command. Java c, the name of the method, that is methods in object class. If in case if you are in Windows 7, you need to paste it by right clicking on the mouse. Control V won't work in Windows 7 while pasting it in the command prompt. Java C methods in object class dot java. So we are compiling this program. If it is successful, class file will be generated and we will be prompted to the next prompt in the command line. So it is taking little bit time. So some typo is here. Go back to the program. It is print ln. Save it. For anything you do the changes in the java file, you need to save it before compiling it and run it. So after doing any changes, you need to compile mandatorily. Java C method in object class dot java. Enter. So what we are getting here, unreported exception. So now we need to keep here the exception type it is showing. So we are directly keeping exception, whether it is whatever it is, we are directly telling that it throws an exception. Okay, so then it will be ignored. Now save this and try to compile and execute once again. Java C methods in object class dot java successfully is compiled. Successfully it is compiled. The next step it is we need to trigger Java command. Java methods in object class. So what we are doing here, earlier we have seen that 11 methods, the most commonly used methods by the user defined class and as well the inbuilt classes that is available in object class. But strictly speaking, we have 12 methods. So what is the proof? Where is the proof? So enter, run this program. So observe here, what is the new method? 12th method we are finding here, it is register natives. Okay, register natives. So if you are opening the object class and see that method declaration of this register natives, so it will be something like, if you are opening that object class that is specified in the standard JDK version, okay, how it will be looking like. Okay, that method will be looking like a declaration, private static. Having some problem here. How it will be looking like, sorry, that is private static native void register native, private static native, then void register natives. Okay, so what is the purpose of this method? This method internally required for the object class. Okay, this method internally required by object class, and this method it is not available to the child classes. Okay, this method it is not available to the child classes, hence we are not required to consider this method. That is why in the beginning I did not consider this method as the, as in as the all the methods, like as a, like required by all the classes, I mean required by all the classes. This method it is not available to the child class. This method, private static native void register natives, this method it is internally required by the object class and it is not available to the child class. Okay, this is the just beginning of object class. So it is just a introduction you can consider, and from the next video tutorial we will get hands on and we will write some code and analyze. Okay, this is it for the introduction or the first video of object class. Thank you.